Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to be here to listen to my story. Um, I'm Dries Beyens, first of all. Thank you, VITO and Love Tomorrow Summit, to having me on this stage, this wonderful atmosphere and this stage. Um, my name is Dries Beyens. I'm the leader of the Research and Technology Department of Pirouette, our new technology. Um, I will start, but first I will tell you that I not have all the time good news. I will start my presentation on my keynote with also some disturbing news and disturbing facts. But don't be. I will bring also some happy things, our solution. So before everybody is depressed, I look to you and we start to bring the good news. Okay, what are the problems or the challenges that we are have today? First, in 2019, we have COVID pandemic, then the recession, and followed by the climate change because it was more a hot topic, and then it becomes more important, the biodiversity, and in several years now, we have also wars that are taking place. At Van der Zanden, I go a little bit more in detail about the climate change because we as Van der Zanden, we are a fire brick facing brick company. So we use natural gas and we have an impact on the climate change. But we can have also a positive impact, of course, with our solution. Some facts, some figures, I go not too much in detail, but the right graph on the slide is maybe the most important graph. 2024, last year, it was the warmest year ever on Earth. And for the first time, the temperature increase was more than 1.5 degrees C compared with the pre-industrial period. Also on that graph, you see that all the warmest years, the last 10 warmest years, all occurred since 2015. So what are the consequences or the causes? We know it all the weather is changing and with some terrible consequences, as we know. What is the reason for the climate change? That's of course the CO2 emissions in the atmosphere. We in Europe are responsible for the production of building materials of 250 megatons a year. The total building and construction industry is responsible for 36, so 1/3 of the total CO2 emissions is because of the building and construction industry. How can we react as a person, as a company, as an organization in this VUCA world, let's say? Of course, we can react as we normally react. That are normal reactions that we can do. Of course, what's the conclusion? All the time we react too late on this kind of problems. Everybody is still happy, I see. No? Yes? Now I come with the good news. I come to our solution. As Darwin told, how should we react? It's not the strongest or the most intelligent one that will survive, but it's the one that is most adaptable to manage change. That is how we as Van der Zanden act and react with our long-term vision on sustainable solution and strategies. We as Van der Zanden, a 4th-generation company, already 4 generations and exist this year 100 years. We are thinking not in years, but we really think in generations. That is how we act as Van der Zanden. This strategy gives us a leading position in sustainability and innovation. With our slogan, all decades long, together we build greatness. In this philosophy, we developed our sustainable program, Together to Zero. One of the main pillars is the technology that we use to produce the bricks. That's the carbon capture and storage technology, where we developed our solution, the CO2, the carbon negative facing bricks that we produce with the carbonatation technology. How does it work? I will let you see. I will take you through the story in a couple of minutes. First, we look to an animation that will show how it works.
Pirouette, the CO2 negative facing brick. This doesn't just mean barely any CO2 is emitted during the production process, it also means a substantial quantity of CO2 is permanently stored in the brick itself. That's what the Pirouette carbonated bricks allow us to do. Carbonation is a chemical process in which calcium oxide-containing materials react with carbon dioxide, forming insoluble calcium carbonate. We can replicate this process in 3 steps thanks to this carbonation technology. In the first step, we mix mineral waste products from the steel industry, sand, any colorants, and water. This saves up to 80% on primary raw materials. This substance is then pressed in a brick mold by a press that runs entirely on green electricity, generated primarily by the press itself. Finally, the paver is cured in a sealed, conditioned room with a high concentration of CO2. How does that work? The CO2 reacts with calcium oxide-containing materials to form carbonates. This permanent bond creates a hard limestone-like bond. During this process, as much as 60 kilograms of CO2 per ton of finished product is absorbed and captured. This process takes 1 or 2 days, does not require any additional energy, and does not produce any waste. With the production of the CO2-negative Pirouette facing bricks, Van der Sanden is taking the next step in changing its production processes for a sustainable future.
A small summarization about the production process. So how does it work? We mix sustainable, low-impact materials. It are minerals from the steel industry. We mix that and you don't use any other binders. So we don't use cements or geopolymers to bind it, only the raw materials that we get from the steel industry. We press them with green energy. All the processes are consuming low energy, also fully electrical, and we have our own green energy because we have our windmill and solar panels on site. The third step is the curing process when they are formed, and the curing, we don't emit CO2 for the production, but we capture CO2 during production in the bricks permanently. So every facing brick around this size will capture during the curing a balloon of 90 liters of pure CO2 during the curing. Then we built a factory for it. The factory is opened last year in September. We have a capex investment of 35 million euros for that. The startup capacity is 20 million bricks a year. We can scale up to more than 40 million bricks a year. We use for that 30,000 tons of minerals, and we use for the curing 3,000 tons of CO2. 3,000 tons is comparable with what 115,000 trees will absorb in 1 year. So it's amazing. Some of our first references, a big project in the Netherlands, our first project in Almere, everything has to do with sustainability and circularity. This were 60 home houses, family houses. They used our Pirouette bricks. They used hemp insulation. You see on the render the roof, the green roofs, and to promote the biodiversity, they put also upstairs in the roof some birdhouses. It's very popular in the Netherlands at this moment. I go 1 slide back because for every family house, when you make it with Pirouette bricks, it's comparable, the CO2 uptake permanently, so it will not escape anymore during lifetime and also not after lifetime. 1 family house with Pirouette bricks is the same as what 1 tree absorbs in 28 years. Our next reference in the east of Belgium, in the Roeteren Cultural Centrum, they masoned the bricks with lime mortar. So they look to the lifetime and they are in the possibility to reuse the bricks after lifetime. Also to let you see, this is our third reference, also the last reference that I will let you see. With our Pirouette bricks, it's a renovation project. So you can see that also renovation are possible, are very good to use the pirouette bricks. This is our new color range that we developed in the last couple of months with nuanced multicolors that are warm ceramic, that gives a warm ceramic look and feel. Then how sustainable are they? I told several times already, it are carbon negative facing bricks, but I don't want to tell greenwashing story, so I will explain and prove that they are sustainable and they are CO2 negative from cradle to gate in the production phase. When you look to products, not only building products, but all the products, and you talk about sustainability or environmental impact, you not only look to the production phase, but also to the other phases, all the LCA, the lifetime cycles of the product, of course. We as Van der Zanden have only impact for our pirouette brick in the production phase, from cradle to gate. So now I'll let you see an infographic about our out of our official sustainable impact documents to prove that it's CO2 negative. The production phase, cradle to gate, has 3 parts. The A1 part, resources extraction of our raw materials. This will have an impact of around 13 kilograms CO2 per 1,000 kilograms of bricks. The transport only from Genk, Aperam, our supplier Orbix, to our plant in Lanklaar is 27 kilometers. That will have an impact of around 8 kilograms. It's amazing to see because our production itself of the bricks will have only 6 kilograms of CO2 impact because of the green energy and all the other things that we do to produce them as sustainable as possible. You see that the 6 kilograms has a lower impact than the transport of the raw materials to our plant. Then we capture during production around the 60 kilograms per 1,000 kilograms, so minus, and then we come to a CO2 negative product of 35 kilograms per 1,000 kilograms of bricks. Then the processing of the bricks in a traditional way, we let test it officially also with standard mortars, so the bricks can use very easily and masoned with standard mortars, with standard lime mortars, so everything is possible. But we look more in the development of dry stacking systems or to use lime mortars, of course, because that makes it more sustainable. When you when you mason a CO2 negative carbon pirouette brick with a cement mortar, you lose all your sustainability. Then we come to the last part of the presentation. It's my personal development that we started 3.5 years ago, so you can say it's a little bit my baby. We started 3.5 years ago by thinking, should we produce this technology? We know the technology, we mix the raw materials, we press them, we cure them. Should we produce the standard brick sizes, wall format, a thick format that's popular in the markets? Of course we need to do it because it's our biggest market. But can we do nothing special, something very creative or the most creative what you can do with the wall? And I made some drawings, some sketches and of triangle sizes of bricks, pentagons, hexagons, I did everything. And the conclusion was a diamond shape with corners of 60 and 120 degrees is the most creative way to build a wall. The architect or the client, end customer, can use a stacking pattern. They can use a front shape of the brick by themselves and they can use the color project specific. Then we made some renders to let's see an architect and end customer how it can be. This is a render that we made, a detailed through on the render of the stacking pattern. And here you see that it's with the drawing that it's quite easy. It's a combination of 2 stacking patterns in rows and in upright position, and it's a repetitive stacking pattern, and with a kind of a bend in the middle of the brick, so quite easy. Here you see a modern family house, also a render with another stacking pattern, another color, and another front shape of the brick. Let's say also a color gradient in the brick itself. Now we come to the real stuff, to our references. The first references in Brussels, Living Tomorrow, the building, the tower in Vilvoorde. It's already built around 2 years ago. That was our first project. Around 500 square meters, and you see here sustainability, circularity and aesthetics, it goes hand in hand. Here's some detailed pictures about Living Tomorrow building. This project we stacked around March this year. It was 350 square meters in the Netherlands, in Kampen. It's the most sustainable school in the Netherlands. The white part in the building is the gym location, and that is foreseen with our Prisma system. They had foreseen 13 weeks to install the system, and they were ready for the 350 square meters with 3 persons in 5.5 weeks. Now you see the final result. It looks like the render. It looks very beautiful. So you can do whatever you want with this system. This is our next project in Knokke-Heist, the fire station. We need to start stacking in September. 750 square meters. You see the same stacking pattern as Living Tomorrow. Another front shape, another color, and you create a total other look and feel. You will see the Prisma meets today facade needs, superior in sustainability, an unlimited new creative freedom, and a high-end facade for the end customer. Hopefully you will see that our pirouette bricks and our Prisma bricks is not just another brick in the wall. Then I will end up with a small video of our factory, the installation with the time-lapse camera of the equipment, also a little bit the production process, and our first project in Almere. Then the final slide, we as Van der Zanden cannot do that alone. We need to join our forces, and this is also an open invitation to everybody to join our movement to a carbon neutral footprint in 2050. Together we build greatness, together to zero. Thank you very much.